I have no idea. We're live. It should be going. I don't see anybody waiting. Right. Sylvie made it. All right, let's see if we can get the bot to connect. That's really weird. I have no idea where that error came from. Over 200 live streams. I should have it figured out by now. Speaking of having it figured out, is it vertical as well? Do you see a vertical stream in there? You're, I'm hearing a echo. Ah, I think I think our bot just got connected. Hang on. Yes. Now that I think we got the echo fixed, it was Mandy has to wear headphones, otherwise, when she hears me coming through the speakers, it gets picked up by her mic, and then yeah. And we got a fourth person now. Wow. Is it seriously? You've been a member for more than 2 years? Wow. I didn't realize that I've been monetized that long. That's amazing. All right. I know. Show me the money. Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and tonight we are going to work on this bag. That's way cool. All right, so we're gonna work on this bag here again. Um, Kind of excited. It's it occurs to me that a lot of the effect is gonna look better and better the longer it gets, and that's kind of got me thinking like this would have been fun pattern for something like a bag for a flute, right? Something really long like that. Um, I've done that before, and that was pretty cool. Oh wait, I'm joined tonight with my wife Mandy. I almost forgot her. Oh no. I know. I got really hyped up about the idea that this is coming out pretty neat. So like the orange connected with the orange from this side, right? Um, the next one over won't connect until way down. Um, and then this one over, like these run parallel in a way that just makes it so so crazy. It really is like this pattern. The more I play with it, the more just a sense of awe, you know? Because I've done arrowheads before. Arrowheads are common, they're easy, they're basic. But this is something new, but still just as easy as a plain old arrowhead. So that's refreshing. Yeah, it is. So far I've been making like a weekly post updating like how much progress we've made. And in some ways it doesn't seem like a whole lot. And then in other ways it seems like wow, there's so much that has happened, in such a really short amount of time. So I'm kind of on the fence here. Like, have we accomplished a lot or no? There. Orange is together. And now I got to work my way across this big area. This is where the two right-handed ones are side by side. So it makes this like really big row. Yeah, this is a really long stretch right here. So still no vertical stream, huh? That's so weird. They when I contacted support, they were like, "Oh, you got to wait until you get the text message." I got the text message more than a couple weeks now, and it's still not working. Oh, that's nice. That's okay. I kind of got the thing, even though it was spelled wrong. So how long of a trip was that? 2 hours. Wow. Bring a clipboard and some string, and you could make a bracelet on the road. Oh wow. Oh wow. No, I have not heard the story. You know, when I came to Singapore, I wanted to go to all the tourist traps, and so I made Mandy do ones that she would never have considered before. There's a thing called the duck boats, where there are these giant big truck like things that go right around the city, and then they go down to the river and then take you out like a boat all of a sudden, and then comes popping back up somewhere else. Pretty neat. Mandy's one of the very few locals that have ever done it. So locals just think, that's silly. Oh, cool. Right. Mandy's a an editor for an online publication, so occasionally they'll hook us up with places where we do staycations, and yeah, I love it. It's so much fun. Yeah, it's fun just to get out of the house for a bit. So, Sylvie, I can blame it on you that I did a little research to find out um, if I had photos of my bags, and it turns out no, I didn't because they should be in my portfolio where I have like all kinds of like cool stuff that I made. But the bags aren't in there, so sometime maybe tomorrow, I plan on trying to get as good of a picture as I can so I can add those in. But yeah, that all came from like talking to you about it and then realizing like, nope, I don't have a photo to show you. The only photo I had was from Instagram, and for some odd reason, it kind of shows all three, but like the one being made sort of is really focused, and the other are just like blur, so you can't see like how actually cool they all are. So yeah, yeah, I'm still working on checking to see which string is longest and apply the longest string to where the zigzag's going to do the work. So there's a lot of strings getting traded out here. Pretty cool. Oh wow, they're almost the same. I think it's the first time in a while that the two strings were almost identically the same length. I know, right? Where is everybody? A little too quiet around here. Mandy, you should text Rainbow, ask her if she's hanging out with Madonna. We just found out that Rainbow had um, Madonna like in her neighborhood, like some kind of art thing going on. See, my big problem is I have no idea what the places I've been to are per se. I know Portsmouth, and I went to Hartlepool, and my grandparents were in Oxford. Those are the ones I know for sure. I went to a city, um, um, Rainbow told me what it was called. I forgot what the city is. There's a city with like a wall going around it, and the wall's like full of like those flint rocks, which was pretty cool. Oh, I thought that was like a British city. No, is that German? I don't know. I'm an American. Oh, oh. See, my geology knowledge is absolute rubbish. Yeah, yeah. So I've been all around Great Britain. Went for a little what bit like near Wales, I think. I went near there was a town that was celebrating the fact that like 150 years prior a flood came through and wiped out like half the population. So they were all like hanging out at the pub and getting drunk. I was a kid, but I was kind of thought, wow. Right. Yeah. So yeah. Um but yeah. Yeah, I've been to England at least 4 times, I think. But that's about as much of Europe as I've seen. Oh, I went to France for a day just to take advantage of the uh, duty free shop. Brought back some vodka back to England. So, but I have, I have France on my passport stamped, even though I barely was in and out. Yeah, Right. So I think when we join this bag together at the base, instead of joining it on the inside and making it a flat seam, I think I'll go with making it like tassels hanging down. Yeah, there's something about doing a bigger project because once you kind of do bracelets, when you kind of get done with like the whole idea of just making small ones for friends and family and stuff, there's like you kind of want to test to see like how good you are at it. And like big huge bracelets, nobody wants that. Nobody wears giant bracelets anymore. So doing these kind of projects makes a whole lot more sense. You get a chance to really stretch that muscle and try something new and exciting, and then you end up with something that is absolutely stunning. Whether it's a small bag like this, a big bag like maybe you're gonna carry around like a normal handbag sized one. Done a number of those, or maybe um, I don't know, like the pillows. The pillows were cool. Like that's a pretty big thing, and you don't have to worry about the strings like going around in a circle, I guess. The pillows were just like flat. Yeah, two bracelets are fun. Right. Ooh, that's a good question. Um, yeah, they are totally repetitive patterns. Um, I think I think again it was like mostly done on live streams, and like so we were measuring the amount of time it took based on like how many live streams there were. Kind of like how I'm doing this bag, right? Um, but I don't remember how many months that was because it was a while. I mean, it was if you're only doing 3 hours at a time, you know, then it's gonna take months to do something like that. Now you kind of got me curious. I don't know if you can check out that link and still be in the watching the video, but there's a little bit of it. I put all the patterns together. I apparently didn't bother to put down links to the live streams or how long it took to make any. But it shows the patterns. It shows my hooks on the wall, how I put the string up there so I could figure the whole thing out. Huh. Weird. Yeah. You're more than welcome. I wish there was an easy way to do the research to find out, like, from the live streams, which ones were for what projects. Like, if I could, like, simply, like, do a Google search or do something to find out, make a, like, a web page dedicated to showing where it is. Because, yeah, there was a lot of time spent making that stuff. Yeah, there's a whole lot of it. It's they're good at what they do, but they don't necessarily make it easy for somebody like me who is, changing up and doing different projects all the time. Like if I was smarter while I was doing the project, which mind you, some of the bags they do have like, every week I updated the page with the actual videos that I was doing and a photo of the work, partway through it. Uh, Tedious, whatever, but it was cool. It shows off the thing. Um, but like I didn't get a lot of feedback saying, people want that. So like then I don't do it, and then yeah, like the big project, that one was 9 months of work, and I was working on that on a daily. Like every weekend, the live stream was about like how much I got done during the week and how much further along the whole thing was. That was a whole different thing going on. That was before the tutorials and all the how-to stuffs. That was just me on one big project with a ton of string. I think Rainbow's on her way. She'll be here. Yeah, I definitely feel like overall the channel is a bit, underrated, considering the amount of work and effort that goes into a lot of the stuff here. But I think that's what makes it so that the people who discover it and who enjoy it come back is because they realize like, holy crap, they're gonna see something getting made, and like it kind of changes up all the time. Wait, you were saying that it takes you 2 hours by train to get to the craft store, and then it's another 2 hours back? That's like 4 hours out of your day in just traveling. That's like bring a backpack and buy all the string they have so that way you don't have to worry about coming back again. Holy crap. I can't imagine being on the train for 2 hours. And like, yeah. Although there's a new electric train that goes kind of fast between JB and KL, and that's like 4 hours. And I would totally do that. I would totally. That would be so much fun. Right. Wow. Right. That's fun. I got into Sudokus for a little while. Those are fun. Yeah. Hey, it's the rainbow. I thought you were out cahootsing with the Madonna or something. Suddenly, the lag seems to have made the conversation confusing. Oh, I think so. I had to digitally enhance my voice to get it louder, but every once in a while, like the mic picks it up and it goes red line, and like that probably sucks if you have good headphones. I know Rainbow's favorite game, Stabby Stabby. Rainbow does a lot of embroidery stuff, cross stitch. Still same diff. Oh, speaking of hanging out on Discord, did you know that the tomorrow is the first of the next month, which makes it the first Sunday of the month? Like we have we have hangouts for YouTube members to like hang around and talk and stuff. So Mandy and I celebrated our 14th wedding anniversary this week. That was kind of fun. I got up a little extra early, went down to the store, and came back with roses. Same as what this is. Well, actually, I started about an hour earlier. So normally this is 10 to midnight or 10 till 1 a.m. And the hangouts are usually I start at like 9 p.m. and like it can go whenever. Like there's times where we're hanging out and having fun and it's been up really late, and then there are other times where it's just quiet and then we let it go at like midnight or whatever. Well, thank you. Yeah, so we went out for dinner on our anniversary. That was really nice. It's one of the best places for pizza on the island. Sadly, they don't have a place anywhere close to us, and they're expensive. Almost gone all the way around, and this is like the wider of the two rows. There's like one direction it's just 3 knots, and this way it's 5. So that's pretty good. I'm making pretty good time here tonight. I didn't expect the string that I was working with to be the longer of the two. It usually was the other way around, or even, but yeah, that was cool. A little something different. We just hit this little spot right here to be the whole, make it a whole row. But I realize that if I take this little spot over here on the side, I can bring out where the orange is going to make a diamond. So I'm gonna have this song stuck in my head. I just know it. Listen to all different kinds of music, different genres, different everything. But this song always sticks. Is it showing the right song? What is it showing that I'm listening to? Really? Oh, I wish you had. Huh. Well, I guess I know what I'm working on tomorrow now. Yeah, so the song is crazy. Does that make me crazy? Which is longer? Technically, this one. Huh. Weird. Well, I think I broke it entirely, so that's kind of interesting. Oh, Sylvie was asking earlier what games that Rainbow plays. I just recently got some games onto my computer, and one of them is kind of funny. It's called Ultimate Brain Games. It's like chess, checkers, Othello, Connect Four. I don't know, just a bunch of really silly games. It was for the PlayStation, and it kicks my butt like every time at checkers. It's really good at checkers. I can win at some of the other ones. I haven't tried chess yet, but yeah, same. Yeah, I'm gonna have to re-put in my stuff for Spotify in order to make it work. I think something got updated. Uh, Way around now. Getting started on the next row. Oh man, one of the other fun things that happened this week, I found uh, a website that like has a lot of different TV shows and sitcoms that you can't really find anywhere else. And I discovered a sitcom that I liked back in the 90s. It was called Herman's Head, and been watching that, and it's hilarious. It's seriously dated. It probably would not work in today's thing where, just yeah, it's dated humor, but it's still fun to see. It's a bit cringy, but it's supposed to be like a look into this guy's head and how he makes decisions. Ooh, that's handy. Stream X, I think. Streamer X dot net, maybe. Hang on. Streamerx dot net. Right on. Welcome. Yeah, I found a few shows that I haven't seen in a while. They had episodes of Doctor Who. They had Animaniacs and Herman's Head. I was mostly blown away by Herman's Head because I have like wanted to re-watch that for years now. Um, because I was kind of the opinion that, you know, was it really as funny as I remember? And now I kind of just really cringe at a lot of it. So it's like, oh, it's not at all how I remember. Right, right. Yeah, I love me some Doctor Who. I've got a tattoo of a TARDIS on my leg. So does Mandy. It was only the modern era stuff, but that's still pretty good. From the Ninth Doctor on forward through the um, all the way up until it went to BBC, or BBC went to Disney with it. So yeah, yeah, he was a good one. I didn't look for that, but they might. I think I've watched all the episodes there are of Star Trek, so I don't know. I haven't searched for that in a while. I think the only Star Trek I haven't seen all of is um I don't even remember what it's called. It's supposed to be like the early days, like right after they were joining the Galactic whatevers, and like they've got uh somebody on board to like kind of guide them along, like a Vulcan, kind of guide them along and help them learn the ways of being out in outer space and stuff. It was like supposed to be like really early space exploration. Oh, really? I wonder who got them. Usually it's about licensing and who's getting the license to play them. Yeah, what was the early like? I can picture the captain in my head. It was the guy that did the that other show about jumping through time or whatever, 24 hours or something. kind of fun to go back and see stuff that you haven't seen in so many years. It like it really just kind of shows me how much I've grown up since those times, like how different my values are and my thoughts on various subjects. It really changed a lot. Even watching like a sitcom like Friends, it's like, that's sort of weird, right? Yeah, I would watch it if it was on, like one of those shows. Like, nah, if it's on, I'll watch it, but I wouldn't go out of my way. At least not while it was like um, on regular television. I think I ended up watching it through Netflix or whatever. Like some of it is okay for standing alone on an episode by itself, but a lot of it was like you needed to be a steady watcher to be able to kind of know what was going on. And like regular TV, I was never good at like being on time to a thing. Yeah, no, there's a lot of shows like that. That's basically Hallmark Christmas every episode. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Right. Yeah, for the most part, I don't think Seinfeld was so bad. A little bit weird at times, but yeah, for sure. 90s were a lot of changes for me. A lot of changes. I had gotten married, got separated, eventually got divorced. There was, oh, that's nice. Yeah, right. Yeah, it was the whole, I was a whole different person in the 90s. A lot of experimenting with bracelets. I had discovered how to use color copying machines to take images of my bracelet work. That was fun. There, you can still see some of that in the portfolio if you go to like the oldest ones. They weren't photographs. They were done by putting them on a color copier, which meant they were exactly one for one in size. So if I was looking at other bracelet patterns to make and trying to figure out where to put the center, I could use my sheets of paper that I had in a book. Alpha patterns just feel like cheating. Yeah, I've been doing this since '87. Oh, hi. I didn't realize I was a new person. Yes, Care. Is it Care? Carrie? Hello, welcome. Thank you. I've been doing this for a really long time, so like it's kind of not fair to compare somebody who's kind of starting out in this and my work because like I've done this for so long. All right. Hang on, give me a second here to get the strings turned around. All right. So this is making a lot of progress here tonight. I'm really kind of pleased with how far we've gotten. With any luck, we'll have done 3 rows, 2 big ones and a small one. The carry life. Do you tie knots or just like enjoy watching? 1987 I started. That's when I first learned how to do a candy stripe was 87. And then that was probably like kind of later on in the year. And then I discovered had this epiphany. I was exhausted. I couldn't keep my eyes open. But as I was laying there, I'm like, whoa, if I tie the knot backwards, it would go the other direction. And I really wanted to do something like on the spot, wanted to cut string and do everything right then, but I couldn't. And I was like, oh man, that's crazy. Um, so like the next morning I wake up and before eating, before anything else, I've got string out and I started making chevrons. And then when I got halfway through the bracelet, I took and went brought them down and kind of stopped early each time. And, so it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then brought the strings in from the other direction. And that led me to the pattern that I thought looked like fish. Oh, you're really new to it. Yeah. Really? Yeah, I was already 20 when I learned. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think there's a certain type of person that finds tying knots really addictive, and I don't know what the common thing is, but the common thread. Um, I don't know what the common thing about it is, but um, it's right on. I don't think I had very many hobbies when I caught on to tying knots. Um, but man, I was like just making even chevrons. Um, I went crazy with it. I was making so many things. So like once I once I had chevrons, I figured out this pattern, right? And when you just do it in a straight row, it looks like fish. So I was doing this for like a long time. Um, and then somebody asked me to try to remake a bracelet for them, and that taught me the other two knots. But that's why I think I'm kind of really good at it. It was because I was making the easy stuff a lot first, so I wasn't in a rush to try to make something that's too complicated. I think that's a common problem for a lot of people beginning is they they like what they see. They like bigger, harder things, and they want to try it before they've really mastered the real beginner stuff. And then they make a lot of mistakes and they get discouraged, and then they don't want to make bracelets anymore. It's kind of a downer. Um, I think if I had started out and had the internet and everything, I think it would have changed a lot about what I was doing, and it would not necessarily for the better. My first complicated pattern was kind of it started out with chevrons and then went into like an arrowhead type thing and then went and changed up in the middle. It was pretty cool. But I didn't like how the chevron side of it was, so I wanted the pieces to connect to each other, like yin and yang. And so I struggled with trying to make graph paper and whatever until I figured it out, and then I made the pattern that is essentially the same that's on my tattoo. So, do I have one around? Seems like I do. Dang it. Yeah, I essentially came up with this pattern, which is sorta in the arrowhead family, but it's different because both sides are like the same number of knots or whatever. Yeah, they do. It can be as easy or as complicated as you want. Oh, you're welcome. I love showing off the stuff I've made. I've made enough stuff over the years. I once made like 7 big bags for a shop. There was seven seven bags plus 6 tube bracelets per bag, like that kind of to sort of match the bag. Yeah, that took a while. I was really happy when I finished. Right. Oh man. So one of the bags is sort of that whole dovetail thing. Um, I realized too late that what would have made it really fun is if the lightest color, which just makes a little dot, um, if I had gotten the glow in the dark floss, that would have been the coolest thing. And it turns out it would only have raised the cost of making the bag by about $15 or $20. I was just like, ah, oh, really missed an opportunity to make something really outrageous. That was 7 months or what 7? Oh, 7 bags for the store. Yes. Eh, I don't feel very professional. I feel like I'm still learning, I'm still playing. It's been about 2 years of being monetized on YouTube. I was making videos for a long time leading up to that. Yeah. Yeah. I know that there's some things that I've made that nobody else has bothered to try yet. Um, well, I take that back. There's one person. There was one person, I think they were in Russia. I haven't seen them online in a really long time, but I coached them for like a while and they figured out how to do the spiral bases. Um, but like that's the only other person I know that can do it. This would be a cool bag for that, except for the fact that the idea was I wanted some phone bags because that's what everybody at the crafting event said that they wanted was something they'd be able to hold a phone in it. You can only make so many bags in a year without like burning yourself out. So, especially with the daily videos, especially. Oh, a spiral base. So if I take a cylinder like this for a bag, I can make the base come to a spiral end. It's pretty cool. I don't I don't have anything as an example of that around here. Well, kind of I do, but it's kind of buried. Yeah, if you go into the portfolio and take a look at some of the bags, there's a couple where like, well, the first spiral was really a really good spiral. I busy playing with somebody else's money when I did that. I had an idea, I wanted to do it, talked somebody into helping to sponsor a contest, a giveaway. They gave me all the string I needed, and I kicked out a really cool bag. Some girl, I think she's in Texas or something, somewhere in America. Um, she won it, and then a couple years later, her house burned down, so she doesn't have the bag anymore. I do, I do. Um, a couple actually. Maybe Mandy can find the links to that. I'm not sure. The the spiral bases. Spiral bases tutorial. I don't know, either web page or I found a small one. Hang on. Copy link. So this video will give you a kind of a how to. It's the same rules apply if you're doing it bigger. I th- and that one will probably do you some good as well. Mind you, the whole project itself is pretty intensely big, and so it feels a little bit scary to think that you're going to go and try something really experimental at the end of it all, which probably intimidates most people. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they're definitely cool. They're definitely eye catchy, but it takes it takes a lot of confidence in yourself to pull it off. There's plenty of bag tutorials that are like more beginner friendly. Um, so that way people who are intimidated by the intense ones would still have some way of finishing up the base. But yeah, the spiral ones are, or like the pattern stuff is sort of cool. Yeah, that's probably not pulling it tight enough. Well, if you're talking between like knots that are zigzagging back and forth, like a one that goes to the right and then the left, or one that goes to the left and the right, there can be a small gap in between there because it's the nature of the knot itself. But if you're just doing like a chevron and you got gaps, then yeah, you probably need it to be a bit tighter. Right. So very loosely when you're coming up, you don't want the strings dragging and causing tension. It's just at the very top, you give it a nice little tug. And you just want it to be consistent. You want all the knots to be as consistent as possible. Unless you see something that's sort of getting into a weird lean, you might really try to pull it or try to shape it to make it less wonky. But yeah, knots should be really, really firm. But like if you held this up to the light, you would see gaps where the knot zigzag, and that's natural. That's perfectly normal. I could probably even do something like that. Hang on, let me finish this row.
2 hours later.
We've got 1 more hour left here. Two more rows, or like little whatever here's, and then I'll get the flashlight up. Kinda. I just kind of like just set the ones that I've just done over top of the ones that were done before that. And here's something you guys might get a kick out of. The the thing I keep my light in is got the Space Invaders. So see how like there's bigger holes exactly at the point of where they zigzag and how uniform it is? That's because the knots naturally do it at that point, and that's perfectly normal. But you notice where the rows are straight, that's the gaps where there are no dots, and that's why. So that's how you can kind of tell the difference between what's supposed to be there and what's not. and then just kind of throw all the string around in order to get to the next part. Get a drink. Hey, it's just string things. Hello. Good morning. It's good that you're here. I get a chance to remind you that tomorrow's a hangout. Oh, wow. That would have made for some of the most serious lag ever. Right. I know, right? How did we get through? I don't know, man. Like the first 6 months of this year have been really, really rough. So I don't know. Right. Yeah. So this week was our anniversary. So all of the Facebook memories of all the different trips that we took throughout the years were popping up one after another. And and what do we get for this year? We went out for pizza. So kind of lacked that kind of glamorous go somewhere exciting vibe that we've had for a number of years now. Really? Wait, what date is theirs? Be really crazy if it's the same. Yeah. Okay. Ours is the 26th. Right. Uh, hey, Rara. Another member that can show up tomorrow. We got the hangouts tomorrow, guys. Be cool to get all the members together. I did. I did. We didn't do anything fancy. We didn't go on trips or anything. But we went out and had pizza. We had thought about getting out of the house early and making it a real big fancy date going out and stuff. But it was like neither of us were really kind of quite up to that. So we just kind of chilled out until it was time to go out to dinner. Yeah. Especially this place that we went. Like their pizzas are definitely top notch. And like um they had cookies that were like big, thick, huge, crazy cookies for dessert. Picking colors can be definitely a challenge. So this is eight different colors in the rainbow that lean heavily onto the darker colors. So that's why the areas where the yellow and orange really seem to pop is because and the green is because they are so much more vibrant than everything else. Makes for a fun combination. But you can only do, something like that so many times before you got to find a different combination. And yeah, totally relatable. Hate this a bit. So ideally, if I could get between these 2 points all done, that would be awesome. Let's try. So for anybody who hasn't figured out what I'm doing here, every time a color crosses another color, I've been checking to see which one's the longest and letting that one be the one that continues onwards on the zigzag. So that way there's a greatest chance of me not having to add strings to this later on. Oh no. Scary ads are something new. I did not know that was a puzzle. Ooh, Southwestern colors sound fun. Or if I'm quiet, my concentration level went way up as I realized how close we were to being able to finish out this row and how much more I would prefer putting this on the little carousel and doing the video if the row was complete. American Southwest colors are the colors of like turquoise and like the orange, the light kind of um it's like a kind of there's like a rusty kind of orange thing. Like I have an ink that is like made out of that. Um, I bet you if you actually Googled it, I bet you it would actually show you samples. Which one's longer? Yeah, that's a pretty good color combination. I've used that a number of times. Especially if you're doing anything that kind of can look a little tribal, like then it really pops off. Now it's just a much smaller space. Purchase this. Have a good one. We're here Saturday nights, 10 p.m. till 1 a.m. Singapore time. Give or take. Oregon. That's a cool place. Cool. Well, hopefully you get to come and join us again. Oh, that's actually kind of close to each other. Yep. Take care. Oh, thought somebody else was leaving. No, we're almost done. Unbelievable the amount of progress we made tonight. Ooh, that's not until things warm up. Right now, you're in the middle of the winter, so it's not for a while. It's like May, I think, if I had to guess. Okay, Google. When does daylight savings time end in the United States?
Daylight saving time in the United States will end on Sunday, November 1st, 2026. Clocks will be set back 1 hour at 2 a.m. local time.
Okay, when does it? Okay, Google. When does daylight savings time end in the US?
Daylight saving time in the United States will end on Sunday, November
Okay,
1st,
Google.
2020.
When does daylight savings time start in the US?
Daylight saving time in the US will start on Sunday, March 8th, 2026.
March 8th.
Clocks will spring forward 1 hour at 2 a.m. local time.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have any of that here, so too close to the equator. The longest day and the shortest day are about 30 minutes apart is the amount of daylight that they get. Yeah, it's March, end of March. Or no, beginning of March. March 8th. I thought it was later. I thought it was like closer to May. Like when things warm up early. Yeah. Yeah. Hang on, I just screwed up my nail. Yeah, no. It's mostly just a winter thing, right? It's like when the less light during the day, you get a little bit more light in the morning. Right. They keep saying that they're going to do it in America, and then they just never get around to actually doing it. I swear to God, like if the elected officials actually did their job, I think people would be in shock because it doesn't make any sense. There's no need for it. Right. I mean, time is such a weird construct. If I can't imagine America ever trying it, but do you know that China is all one time zone, despite being about the same size as America? Everybody still has the all the same time zone. So like, how cool is that? Obviously, somebody in the East versus somebody in the West is going to view, 7 a.m. very differently. But if they try to call each other, they're both looking at their clock like, oh, it's 7 a.m. Oh, yeah, absolutely. No doubt. Plus, farmers don't like it because the cows and the horses and all that, they don't, they don't appreciate their time being changed up. Just look at how cool this is. It just kind of like is zigzagging its way downwards. And then this one's going to come behind it and follow that. Then over on this side, we've got one that kind of is a real long zigzag coming down, bounces up, and it's going to come down, and it won't connect. See, this one ends here. This one will come down and connect to this one over here. Oh, this is looking really, really cool. Like I said, this would be a fascinating to make it really long. So yeah, it's really super pretty. All right, guys, it's almost one. The live stream, the hangout thing tomorrow. It'll be start at 9 p.m. But you can come to the regular time if you want. Whatever will be. Yeah. We'll do the hangout. And is there anything else, Sonny? Why am I? Oh, wait. I know. Let's shout out the actual YouTube members. These are all the people who help keep this channel going. If you want your name added to the list, it's really easy. It's about $4 a month, something like that. Oh, wow, the hobby fair came up. I got to take that out of there. Wait, can I? Yes. All right. Yeah, so we'll hang out for a while tomorrow. You guys can bring your patterns or what you're working on. I'd love to see what you guys are up to. All right. Have a good one. And where's the button? There it is. Don't get your strings in a bunch. Yeah, just string things. I hope you wake up early as well.